We're gonna start with our trimmed pork butt. This is 2.5 pounds. We're using our meat tenderizer tool to just puncture some holes in here. We want this thing to be extra tender, and we're gonna coat this with a tablespoon of olive oil. We're gonna season generously with salt and pepper because this is a lot of meat. We're gonna do about a teaspoon of paprika. You can use regular or smoked. We're gonna do a teaspoon of cumin. This is already smelling good. We're gonna do the equivalent of 3 cloves of garlic, about 2-3 tablespoons there. And we're gonna do a tablespoon of yummy brown sugar. Now we're just gonna get in there with our hands and mix up these dry rubs. We wanna fully coat this pork and get that seasoning evenly mixed. Now we can take our gloves off. We're gonna add 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. This is gonna add a nice tanginess to the dish. We're gonna add 1/2 cup of chicken broth right on top. We're using low sodium, but you can use whatever you have. And we're gonna use 1 cup of our favorite barbecue sauce. We're using Sweet Baby Ray's. A lot of people in the comments tell me that they hate Sweet Baby Ray's, but what about you? What's your favorite barbecue sauce? And we're just gonna mix all that up in our crock pot with our tongs here. Make sure all sides are coated. Then we're gonna lift up our meat and we're gonna add some chopped white onion to the bottom of our crock pot and just throw that meat back on. We're gonna cover this and cook on high for 4 to 6 hours, or you can do 8 to 10 hours on low. A lot of people like to do it overnight. We're just gonna let this set. Now we're gonna make my favorite coleslaw recipe. This is a copycat of the KFC coleslaw. It is my absolute favorite. We're gonna start with 1 bag of this coleslaw mix, and it is pre-washed, so no need to wash. We're gonna add 2 tablespoons of minced white onion directly on top. Now we're gonna slide this to the side. We're gonna mix our wet ingredients. We're gonna do 1/4 cup of milk. I'm using whole milk for this. Right into the bowl. We're gonna use 1/4 cup of buttermilk. Make sure this is shaken in the bottle. We're gonna do about 1/2 cup of light mayo. I'm just using light to make it a little bit healthier, but you can use full fat. It doesn't really matter. We're gonna do 1/3 cup of granulated sugar, 2.5 tablespoons of lemon juice, just on top of everything. And this is gonna be so good, you guys. And we're gonna do 1.5 tablespoons of distilled white vinegar right on top. We're gonna give this a good mix to incorporate all those ingredients. And I love this stuff, you guys. My wife is a coleslaw-aholic. She cannot get enough of this stuff. And once your milk mixture has been mixed up, we're gonna pour that directly on top of our coleslaw and onion mixture. This is gonna be so good, you guys. We're gonna season with about 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. And we're just gonna give this a mix here. This will stay good in your fridge for 3 to 5 days. And after we get this nice and mixed up, we're gonna throw it back in the fridge to chill, come back and assemble our sliders. All right, it's been 4.5 hours and this smells so good. I'm gonna show you guys a quick hack to shred this pork. I'm gonna use a splatter guard I bought off Amazon. We're gonna put it in here and just blend this pork up to shred it. It is just tearing that pork apart. This is so easy. You do have to be careful. You don't wanna scrape the sides of your crock pot. And you guys, this makes life so much easier than shredding these with 2 forks. It is done in less than a minute. And look at that, perfectly shredded. Now to assemble these sliders, I have some King's Hawaiian sweet rolls. These are delicious. We're just gonna split a couple open and just throw our pork directly on top. You guys, this is heaven on a plate. We're gonna add some of our homemade coleslaw. You guys are not ready for how good these sliders are. That is so good. You guys have to try these.